The hosts of bracketology are experts in nothing. They claim no advanced knowledge or profound insights. Instead, they are just three judgmental idiots who really like to bloviate their own opinions whenever given the chance. Take what they have to say with a grain of salt, or not at all. You'll probably be better off that way.
So we've been talking about like candies and chocolates fighting. I was streaming a little bit today and got a suggestion from a listener as I was streaming. As we were rehashing the Hungry Games and the fruit versus, other fruits and who would win. And then that led to random other questions about who would win in a fight. Specifically, Dan, being in the Twitch, said, try to look up on ChatGPT, because I looked up on ChatGPT the winner of the fruit Hungry Games, and the answer was coconut.
That makes sense.
We were right.
Yeah, we were absolutely right. Then Dan said, check a gorilla versus 100 Brock Lesnar's. So I did that. But that was boring. So then I was like, all right, well, what else can we talk about? And our listener Rabbit recommended that we do a hypothetical death battle. Matt versus Dan versus Scott. So, with that being the case, I asked it, who would win in a fight, Matt, Scott, or Dan? Then I had to adjust it a little bit because it gave us random archetypes. Its original response, in fact, was, yes, the classic Matt versus Dan versus Scott showdown. No last names, no weapons, just raw energy, vague backstories, and unshakable knowledge that you definitely know at least one of these guys in real life. So then I had to adjust the archetypes, right, and kind of talk through it. So I'm going to explain what the best one. I'm going to explain our archetypes, and then we can go through the story, if that sounds okay.
What do you mean the best one? Did you redo this several times until you got the outcome that you liked the most?
No. I just wanted the archetypes to be correct. I wanted the descriptions of us, considering all I said was, here are three names, make them fight in a death battle. I wanted to give a little bit more. So, I sourced these descriptions essentially from listeners. So Matt, it has the archetype Matt is in parentheses, the corporate emo. The archetype is used to write My Chemical Romance lyrics on his Converse, now leads Q4 sales calls like a boss, wears black button-ups to board meetings. Strengths, emotionally repressed but extremely efficient, uses sarcasm as a weapon, and can monologue about disappointment and ROI in the same breath. Weaknesses, buried feelings, could explode at any moment, thinks he's above the fight until he isn't. Wild card, if someone mocks his band, he goes absolutely feral. Then we have Dan. Dan is, in parentheses, the soft angel. Archetype.
Is that a fat joke?
It's not, actually. Archetype.
He is so white he glows.
Too sweet for this world. Cried during Paddington 2. Believes in second chances. Would pet a wolf if it wagged once.
All factual statements, yeah.
Well, I've never seen Paddington 2, but yes.
That's because Paddington 1 traumatized you. Strengths. Heart of gold. Unexpected slipper throwing accuracy. Weaknesses. Doesn't want anyone to get hurt. Might stop mid-fight and rescue a bug from someone's shoulder. Wild card, an animal always shows up to help him.
Like Snow White, but more vicious.
And then we have Scott, in parentheses, the lanky loudmouth. Archetype, 6 feet of... Hold on. Archetype, 6 feet of unfiltered stream of consciousness. Knows the Rotten Tomato scores of every movie and won't let you forget it.
Okay, hold on. No joke. I was sitting here thinking, did you know that Paddington 2 has a perfect score on IMDb? Or on Rotten Tomatoes, one of the two. I was sitting. It's considered it has a better score on Rotten Tomatoes than Citizen Kane does. Did you know that? Paddington 2. It's a masterpiece.
Wild.
And then they just called it. Hold on. Let me just clarify something here real quick. You had to feed it information in order for it to come up with these archetypes?
Yeah, that's correct.
So what okay, that begs the question. What did you tell it to make it get to this?
Exactly. That's
okay. So
Okay, that's more for me. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Dan's thing that I gave him, because initially Dan's archetype was chill, analytical, probably wears Allbirds, played Ultimate Frisbee in college, which none of that's true. So I said, can we change Dan's archetype to being too nice and loving animals?
Frisbee wasn't invented yet. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
For Scott's, your original archetype was built his own deck unironically, grew up with brothers, has scars and stories.
Yeah, none of those things are true.
So I changed yours to, let's change Scott's archetype to someone who talks more than everybody else in the room and has never worked out but is lanky.
I have worked out once or twice. Thank you very much. Dick.
So anyway, you ready to... Scott's archetype, 6 feet of unfiltered stream of consciousness, knows the Rotten Tomato scores of every movie, won't let you forget it. Strengths, verbal chaos. Psychological warfare via pop culture tangents.
100%.
Weaknesses. 0 cardio, possibly brittle bones.
I think my bones are okay. And that's all I can say about that statement.
Your wild card, his monologues are like verbal smoke bombs. Confusing, distracting, and just weird enough to work.
I'd like to think they make some sense. Are they long and unnecessary and
they are just weird enough to work, so that means that in some way they do make sense.
If I come out on top, I'm fine. That's winning.
Right,
Winning's winning.
Are you ready to hear about the setting?
Sure.
I actually haven't read the setting yet. All right. The fight. Corporate rooftop. Sunset. Matt enters in slacks and a loosened tie. Says, let's just get this over with. I have a 7 a.m. sync.
There's no way Matt would be in a tie.
Dan.
Or have a 7 a.m. sync.
Yeah,
Dan
maybe.
is holding a stray kitten he found on the way there.
That checks out.
Mm-hmm.
Scott is already 8 minutes deep into a story about how Shrek 2 is better than The Godfather, waving his arms like a car dealership balloon.
God damn it.
All right, you ready for round 1?
Sure.
Round 1. Matt throws a surprisingly sharp jab. All those years bottling emotion into spreadsheets finally coming out. Dan ducks, offers him chamomile tea, and says, I'm here for you, not against you. Matt hesitates. Too pure. Scott yells, you guys ever notice how this is basically a live-action anime filler arc? Then trips over his own shoelaces and rolls into Matt.
I'm not uncoordinated. I'm not a buffoon.
Round 2. Matt's now mad. Not at them, but at himself. You can hear dashboard confessional swelling in the background. Dan tries to calm him down with a hug. Matt allows it for 2 seconds, then suplexes him gently onto a beanbag, which Dan brought just in case things got too rough. Final moments. Scott, standing on a bench for dramatic effect, screams, you can't fight the system when you are the system, Matt. Then breaks something in Matt. This breaks something in Matt. He charges Scott, but Scott dodges with the speed of a guy who's never been in a real fight but has imagined many. Dan trips Matt accidentally while helping the kitten off the roof ledge. Matt lands face down in his own PowerPoint printouts. Final verdict, winner, Dan, by way of innocence, clumsiness, and cosmic alignment. Runner-up, Scott, who survived purely through distraction and dumb luck. And Matt, quietly sobbing into a latte, whispering, no one ever thanked me for fixing Q3.
This does seem pretty believable.
And Matt, I want to thank you for fixing Q3.
Finally, I appreciate that. So anyway, it was a fun thing. What are your thoughts, Scott? Do you think that Dan will come out on top?
Yeah, 100%. I didn't even have to call my animal companion.
No, he did. It was a kitten that was on the roof's ledge.
I think there's just too strong a likelihood that like a butterfly would fly by and he would go chasing after it and just walk right off the edge.
Well, I mean, potential. I don't know why it was on a rooftop. It just randomly picked that.
I mean, it's a cool background setting for a death fight, I feel like.
Oh my god, it's ridiculous.
I mean, I agree with the outcome.
I'm sure you do. I don't understand why it decided to make me a clumsy, bumbling idiot. Lanky is one thing, but like, I can run without tripping over my feet every time.
You did dodge like somebody who hasn't been in a fight but has thought about fights a lot.
I mean, no, I've been in a fight before too. I've been in 2. I'm trying to remember if there was a third one.
Your sister doesn't count, Scott.
No. I blinded a guy for a couple of days. Got him right in the eye with my class ring in high school.
Oh, I thought you pocket sand. Like,
it was actually Pixie Stick. Bringing it all back to the bracket. It was Pixie Stick. Hello and welcome back to Bracketology, the podcast that definitively decides all things tournament bracket style. You can finger my butt, sir. Finger. I'm Scott Grubb.
I'm Snickerdoodleless Cage, Matt Robinson.
And I am the jolliest rancher, Dan Default.
This week we continue week 2, part 2 of our candy versus chocolate showdown.
I think we need to go back to something real quick because I'm pretty sure we've used Jolliest Rancher before, but when talking about Stone Cold and somebody else.
Stone Cold and Chuck Norris, yeah.
Were the Jolliest Ranchers. So you anyway, round 2, part 2.
You need to listen to our own episode, Spender.
I listened to them. I just don't remember very well.
That's fair. Round 2, part 2. Yeah, it's been a while since we've gotten to chat. There's a lot of space in between recordings here. People may not know, but we had to record quite a few in a row to kind of have a backlog while some of us were traveling. So it's been a hot minute since we got to chat. I don't hardly remember anything we talked about. I just remember Dan being angry a lot, and now I'm getting turned on again. So
it's creepy.
Didn't know that did it for you. I mean, look, no kink shame. Is it specifically Dan, or is it anybody getting angry?
Is it anger in all forms, or just my anger?
It's something.
You know what they would call this? They would call this Hulkophilia.
It's something about the particular shade of red that your nose turns. So this week, why are we going down this path?
I don't know.
I feel terrible for opening this door. We are continuing. We have matchups. Where should we start? We started candy last time. Let's go chocolate this time.
Let's go chocolate.
All right. I mean, we said this last week. I think this could be a main event matchup if the bracket was laid out a little bit differently. But we're going to start out with some heat this week. Snickers versus Butterfinger.
See, I know you guys think that this is a big competition. I don't.
Well, you're a fucking idiot.
Okay.
Aggressive as fuck.
I think one of these two competitors is far superior. And it's not even close, really.
Well, which one is that then, Dan?
Look, Snickers is delicious. It has the nougat, the nuts, the chocolate.
What is your obsession with nougat?
You called yourself Duke Nougat.
Yeah. What is
That's because it was a fun name.
Nougat?
I have no hatred of nougat, but I don't bring it up every day.
We're talking about a nougat-based candy bar. Why would he not bring it up?
Everybody knows what's in a Snickers. We don't have to list off all the individual items in it.
Butterfingers are good, but I don't like again, going back to the mouthfeel, I don't like the crunch that comes with the Butterfinger. I can see the appeal of it, but for me, that's just not where it's at. But the nuts in the Snickers provides the perfect amount of crunch.
It's not that I wasn't listening to you, Scott. Did you just have like a little mini seizure?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, something, I don't know what happened, but something here tickled my ear or made it, and I was trying to ignore it. I definitely wasn't going to call attention to it, but it did in fact make me twitch like 2 times, and it may have briefly looked like I was having a little seizure.
I 100% couldn't tell if that was it or if my computer was somehow wildly fucking up just your video.
It was just the Tourette's briefly acting up again. That's all it was. I'm okay.
So go watch this on YouTube.
Yeah. Dan, you said one thing that I do think is true. Everything else was bullshit.
Okay.
But I do think that you're right. I don't know about everything else. I'm not going to lie. I don't remember everything you said. The Butterfinger does have I think a challenging mouthfeel, but I think you're wrong about where the challenge exists. I don't mind the initial bite of the Butterfinger,
but it's
where it's so bad in my teeth, and then even gets stuck to the top of your gum too, and that it can be challenging. I enjoy the Butterfinger flavor a lot, and I guess maybe I benefit from it being stuck in my teeth for so long that it extends that experience. But it is an uncomfortable mouthfeel.
Yeah.
But that flavor, there's something about that two texture feeling of like the softness of the chocolate and then the crunch of the peanut butter that tickles like part of the Neanderthal part of my brain. I really enjoy that in a way that can only be expressed through lizard interpretive dance, and I'm just not lizard enough to do that. But
one of these days I want to see your Butterfinger lizard interpretive dance.
But the Snickers, man, I don't know. And then, we've opened the door of possibility for the Snickers ice cream bar, and that's a game changer. But you know how I feel about peanut butter. I don't know. This one's not as clear cut for me.
Yeah, I don't think it's as clear cut for me either. I mean, I think that I understand what you're saying, Dan. I also disagree. As somebody who doesn't really like crunchy things, I think the Butterfingers like crunch is part of what makes it magical. And I also think, to Scott's point, it's strange, but I kind of enjoy that I get a little bit of lasting, a little bit of lasting.
Again, if you're not watching on YouTube, you're missing the fact that in Matt's background right now, his dog has said, "Fuck your bed," and it's just ripped the pillows like it was neatly made. Pillows resting, at a perfect 66.66 degree angle on the headboard. And that dog went, "Fuck all this," and just jacked it all up. That was hilarious.
He now got under the bed and is sleeping under the covers.
So he just did that to say "fuck you," and then
this is your side. Fuck it. This is my side. I'm going under the covers. That's great.
This is a wild. This is an Adderall filled episode.
You should probably give your dog a Snickers. I think he's hangry.
Yeah, he might need his Snickers. I like that it gets a little bit stuck in your teeth and you kind of have to work with it a little bit, because it does extend that flavor a little bit. I being someone who doesn't like peanut butter, I love a Butterfinger. I really do. I always looked at that as kind of being a bonus when it comes to like Halloween candy and stuff, because you just don't get them as much as you get some of the other candies. But I do love a Snickers. I like a Snickers. We talked about like the marketing campaign of Snickers a couple weeks ago.
The Betty White commercial.
Yeah, that's true. That was a commercial. And
okay, so dismissive. Danny DeVito was in one. There were a few of them.
There's a Kevin Bacon one, I think, at one point.
Yeah, I think so too. Wasn't there a football player one too? Like I can't remember who it was.
Definitely Peyton Manning, wasn't it?
I don't know. No.
He seems like he would be in.
I want to say it was like a lineman type guy, like someone who was he was out there tackling people. Oh, Troy Polamalu, maybe?
No, because Troy
I think it
Polamalu
was-
has the Head and Shoulders. Like he
Was
doesn't
it
need
Ray
Snickers.
Lewis?
That doesn't mean that he can't also do Snickers. Hold on, I'm Googling it. Snickers football
ADHD.
player commercial. Hey,
The flavor of this episode is ADHD.
hey, never diagnosed, okay? Never diagnosed. They haven't,
So
they haven't caught me yet. One was a football-based one.
the Betty White one was a football.
Yeah, they're playing football.
Yeah, and
she's
Betty
like-
White's out there. And,
Yeah, she's out
Suck.
there getting her butt kicked,
yeah,
but talking trash. And then the girlfriend comes over, hands her a Snickers, and then it goes back to her, and suddenly she's a 20-something white man who's managed to get himself open, and then suddenly the quarterback is Abe Vigoda. That took a turn. All right, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe that was it.
Anyway, I don't know. This one's kind of up in the air for me. So Dan, you say Snickers.
yeah. That diatribe from Scott didn't help.
Damn it, ChatGPT was right about me.
All right, what are y'all's votes?
I don't know. Scott, you have to go.
I think I was thinking about this while I wasn't listening to you talk, and and I'm just kidding. I was listening.
No, he wasn't.
I think this is one of those things. Matt's going to yell at me. I'm torn between this idea of like, what do I think if we're trying to scientifically determine this definitively, then my head wants to try and think like, what would the masses say here, right? What is the greater population thinking in this matchup? But I think I'm kind of contrary to the population. Me personally, I think I would pick contrary to the population. So it's, do I want to go scientific, or do I want to and take myself out of it and make Matt mad, or do I want to make myself the center of attention and pick what I like? And I'm torn about what to do in that scenario. I guess ultimately,
Your choices are piss off somebody you call a friend, or be the most attentive person. Like have all of the attention, and that's hard for you.
yeah. I mean, I get where you're coming from, but pissing you guys off has never stopped me before.
Not stopping is not the same as motivation.
I mean, sometimes it is encouraged. I think ultimately it comes down to like, do I like the candy that I like enough for me to be able to justify picking it? And I think in this scenario, I do. I'm just imagining myself
With an ice cream Snickers.
in my kitchen, rummaging through my kid's candy bowl like a raccoon in the dark. And if I come across these two items, I'm going to eat them both, but I'm probably going to eat the Butterfinger first.
Because you saved the best for last.
No, because like I anxiously want the Butterfinger. I think between the two, if I had self-control and only picked one, which I don't, so I'm not gonna, but it would be the Butterfinger. So I'm going to vote Butterfinger. I'm going to go with my own choice here. I think Snickers is the popular choice, but I think it's Butterfinger for me.
I do think that both of these are great chocolates. They're great candies.
One of them's a great ice cream bar.
I know. I think for me, what it boils down to is what have I'm thinking back in my life, and I'm thinking, what have I eaten more of? Both of these go against my general tastes because I dislike peanut butter and I dislike peanuts. I like nougat, which is in both of these, in a way. We looked up
What?
the ingredients to the Butterfinger, and it's at least partially
No,
nougat.
I think it was just crunchy peanut butter, wasn't it?
Shows how much you fucking listen to the show. So I think,
Okay.
yes, in terms of which of these two I've eaten more, I've definitely purchased more Snickers. I think mainly eating Butterfinger happens at Halloween time, and I still get Snickers at that point. So I think I'm going to have to give it to Snickers in this case, as much as I do enjoy a Butterfinger. So Snickers moves on.
The right decision. Well done, Matt.
Oh no, they didn't pick mine. I'm gonna cry about it. Is that what
So
you want?
Hershey's versus Kit Kat.
You want me to be emotional about it?
Like the way you're shaking
I'd love for you to have some emotion sometime, you fucking robot. Like what?
Go back and listen to the SpongeBob versus Bob Barker battle royale.
That emotion spread out over months, dude. We were arguing for months.
It drained all the emotions I had out of me. I have nothing left to give. This one's easy. This is a short matchup.
I'm assuming that you're saying that because Kit Kat is your heavy favorite.
I mean, it's not that Kit Kat's is my favorite, heavy favorite. It's that we're talking about a plain old ass Hershey's bar.
No. It is all the variants of Hershey's bar. Cookies and cream Hershey bar.
Go suck an almond. I don't care. I mean, what? Almond and cookies and cream. What else?
Those are the only three that I can think
Okay.
of right off the top of my head.
You wanted
But
passion.
they're very strong. Dude, Hershey almond is great.
They are the mayonnaise of the candy world.
You're the mayonnaise of the podcast world.
Valid. The answer is classic flavors are milk chocolate with almonds, special dark, cookies and cream, and crackle. Then you've got other flavors.
Crackle is just
Crackle's
like
its
the
own
crunch
separate
bar.
Crackle's its own separate bar.
That is a Hershey's bar.
KRAC, whatever.
KEL. Yes.
No, that's its own separate bar. That is not a Hershey's chocolate bar.
That is a Hershey's chocolate bar.
No, it has its own separate name brand, though.
So no, it is Hershey's Crackle. The Crackle is just popped rice or crisped rice in a Hershey's bar.
Basically a Nestle Crunch.
Then, under other flavors, birthday cake, caramel, cinnamon cream, cotton candy, cream cheese,
Cream cheese.
semi-sweet chocolate, strawberry cream, white cream, oat extra creamy with almond, and symphony, both milk chocolate and almond toffee. It also says Mr. Goodbar is a part of that.
So would a Hershey Kisses fall in this category too, then?
We legitimately talked about this in the last episode that this was in.
Yes. Remember, you two chuckle fucks wanted to throw all of these things together instead of breaking them out. So yes, Hershey Kisses.
Okay,
Do you listen to our episodes?
Okay, but Fifth Avenues are Hershey's. Almond Joys are Hershey's.
Well, just because they're made by Hershey's doesn't mean that it's the same like base, right? Which is really what this is based on. But
So
Hershey
because
Kisses are just the smaller form of a Hershey's bar.
So because they all are just the boring, bland, plain whiteboard rectangle shape, but they happen to have a little bit of variation, they're considered. They have like a brand name of their own, right? If I think Crackle, I'm not thinking Hershey Crackle, but that's technical. Okay. All right, fine.
It's the same thing with Reese's Pieces and Reese's Cups.
No, because Reese's Cups and Reese's Pieces and Reese's Sticks, that's telling you what the same candy is, but it's just telling you a shape. It's an adjective describing what it is. Crackle is a brand name. Symphony is a brand name. Kisses are a brand name. I don't know. But I mean, if you want to include it, it's fine. It's not, none of what you're saying is changing my vote.
So anyway, you voted for Kit Kat then?
Yeah, it's 100% Kit Kat.
Yeah, I'll also vote for Kit Kat. I think that, I mean, even with all of the additional flavors and everything, and I rarely, if ever, want a Hershey's bar. The only Hershey Kisses that I like are the caramel filled ones.
Which are banging.
Yeah, like a
Go on.
tang? Hammer.
My vote's also for Kit Kat. I was talking about Hershey's. I wanted them to get some flowers because I do like some of the variations of Hershey's and even the Hershey bar. The plain old milk chocolate Hershey's bar is good. But Kit Kat also has a crap ton of variants, and some of them are really, really tasty. But the original, top dog.
I think the only thing that Hershey's had for me from like a sympathetic vote is that like the Hershey's almond bars were my dad's go-to chocolate. Like that was what he would get like 1 or 3 of them every night.
They are good.
But that moves us over to the candy side. What's sweet, Scott?
Pez versus Lifesavers. Bum, bum, bum. Dan,
So
how do you feel about this one?
This is
Sorry.
ridiculously easy matchup. Look, the only dispenser that a Pez belongs in is a garbage dispenser because they are garbage candies. The dispensers are the only things that are cool about them, and the fact that they beat gummy bears is a travesty.
I have a question.
I will never forgive.
Dan?
What? Yeah.
First off, Matt, if you're going to type that much, can you please mute? Dan.
Yeah.
What is a garbage dispenser?
It dispenses garbage, much like Pez dispensers dispense garbage.
Okay, you just said it like it was a thing, and I've never heard those two words together.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay, just checking. You really don't, you have that strong of feelings against the candy Pez. Would you be angry at someone if they offered you Pez? Because you sound like that.
Look, I have gotten Pez dispensers like because of, the litany of nerdy things that I love, Star Wars, Ninja Turtles, whatever the case may be.
Sure.
And I throw away the candy and keep the dispenser. The candy is disgusting. The candy is like the price of admission for the fun of the toy. It's like going to Casa Bonita years ago for the food. The food wasn't great. It's the atmosphere you go for. It's the same thing with Pez. The candy is garbage. The dispenser is what you want. And since we are talking about the actual candy, Pez doesn't deserve a spot on this list. But I also tried to get Pez kicked off before we even started this bracket. So, on the plus side, though, Lifesavers as a hard candy are good, but the gummy savers are great.
So there are 2 arguments that I want to make for the sake of Pez. Pez comes with a built-in portion control. You only get 1 piece at a time. You're not just popping all those in your mouth. You know what I mean? You got the dispenser. You put the head up. You get 1 piece.
Unless you pull the head up and just empty it out.
Great for good parents.
Or you rip the thing that has the Pez, the packaging that has the Pez, and you just eat them right there without.
Why would you do that, you animal?
I don't, because the candy is gross, but there are people that do.
Look, the second argument that you have for Pez over Lifesavers, okay? It's a hands-free candy. with lifesavers, you got to pull that thing out. Like they come, if you unroll it, there's no, the dispenser is great for multiple reasons. One is the collectible aspect, but the second is the actual usability, the utility that exists of the Pez dispenser.
When you get a roll of lifesavers, do you rip the top off and just push the the labeling inside to pop the candy out?
No, because I don't get lifesavers.
I'm saying
In a hypothetical scenario.
both of your arguments are wrong. There is no
incorrect.
portion control in Pez dispensers.
I guarantee you, and this is a verifiable fact, if you search the world, you would find numerous loose lifesavers in people's pockets. Mm-hmm. You would never find any loose Pez in someone's pocket.
That is absolutely 100% incorrect.
There's some hyperbole to that statement.
All three of your arguments are wrong.
Look, if you aren't willing to face
your
science,
wrong arguments,
I can't look. You can take a horse to water, but you can't shoot him in the mouth.
Also wrong.
Oh, you heard it here, folks. Dan wants to shoot a horse in the mouth. I think that Matt made some nonsense up. But I think to some degree he's correct. I don't think you can discount the experience, the childlike magic of a Pez being dispensed from the neck of your favorite cartoon character while you savagely rip it out like it's the aorta, you know? And I think
I'm sorry, never mind.
Go ahead.
What if they made like farm animal Pez dispensers, right? So then you're ripping the aorta out of a pig or a cow. That would be like
meat
eater galore.
The Looney Tune Porky Pig has
no, that's a sentient pig. That's different.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
First
we were drawing lines on sentience.
I'm sure that probably exists. Like I wouldn't be surprised if just farm animal Pez exists. You know, that's a easy thing to appeal to kids without having to pay licensing fees. Dan, God, it pains me to agree with you on anything, but you're right. The gummy lifesavers, though, I mean, those can't be denied. And they have the original flavor and like the wild berry flavor?
And a tropical variant too.
Do they have a gummy and tropical too?
Yeah, slamming.
This one's tough. I think you're being unnecessarily harsh on the Pez candy.
Yeah, he absolutely is. Let me put. So I just looked up some Pez dispensers to see if there are farm animal Pez dispensers. But what I came up with were a bunch of fun Pez dispensers on Etsy for some reason. And did you know, Scott, there is a Taco Bell Chihuahua Pez dispenser?
I mean, no, but there should. Please tell me it comes with taco flavored Pez.
I don't think it does, but the Pez does come out of its mouth. Its mouth opens up.
Nice. So you have to like make out with the dog.
Oh.
Fun fact: dog's real name, Sugar.
Like Pez.
Exactly. There we go. That's weird. Is this like, are people using 3D printers to like make unlicensed, unauthorized Pez dispensers and selling them on Etsy?
I think it was reselling them, to be fair.
Okay.
Or they're taking existing Pez dispensers and modifying them.
Let's make Pez. You've got a 3D printer. Make a Pez dispenser of the three of us.
I mean, sure. Real easy. Just need a 3D model of our heads.
Perfect.
I'm going to make the Pez come out of Dan's mouth. I'm going to add a voice box to it so it's like bleh every time.
Yeah. That would be the sound that I would make.
Pez and lightsabers, Scott. I got you off on a diatribe, or off your diatribe. You make a vote.
I really want to say Pez just to make Dan mad because I know how strongly he feels about it. And again, making my friends mad has never stopped me, sometimes encourages. But I can't in this one. The Lifesavers gummies are, I mean, they're a go-to for me. You know, if they're in my pantry, they're not going to be for long. If they're in my pantry, no, they're not.
If they're in your pantry, nobody told you, but they bought them.
That's correct. They have been snuck into the house. So I'm gonna have to go with Lifesavers. I'm gonna have to agree with Dan, unfortunately. I'm gonna have to eat some Lifesaver gummies to get this taste out of my mouth.
Lifesavers,
but it's so worth it.
Lifesavers gets my vote as well. I think that to the gummies for sure, but also and you reminded me of this in our first episode, Scott. The wintergreen Lifesavers.
Oh, so good.
And those are delicious. That's my go-to mint. So,
do you guys remember the Candyland website back in the day where you could play the little mini golf? Oh my gosh, neither one of you remember the Candyland games?
We've already discussed that we did the internet vastly different than you.
And I know the Candyland game, not a website that's called Candyland, you fucking Michael Jackson ass.
No, what? That was what it was called. Candyland.
CandylandWebsite.com.
What old man did you meet from that website?
What was it called? Cream.
Go to Candyland, Scott.
Mini golf. Candy Stand. That's what it was called. Lifesavers Candy Stand was a website. Lifesavers Candy Stand. I'm trying to find out where it was. It doesn't exist anymore. You can find it on Wayback though. But candystand.com. It had a bunch of games on there. It had like great old Flash games. It had a mini golf game that people are trying to restore it. But it had like the first hole was based on Lifesavers Wintergreen, and the second hole was based on the wild cherry flavor Lifesavers. You guys never played this for real?
No.
I killed so many hours on this site. Get in the comments. Bring it on the Discord. Please tell me I'm not the only one who had a blessed childhood. It's making me sad that Matt and Dan didn't know what I'm talking about.
We had girlfriends, so I don't know.
None of them required Skittles.
Oh, God.
What's our last matchup?
Oh, Laffy Taffy versus Jolly Ranchers. God damn it.
So this is very easy for me.
Really?
Oh, absolutely. The only thing that Jolly Ranchers has going for it are the Fire Jolly Ranchers. And so because of that, Banana Laffy Taffy beats the shit out of Jolly Ranchers. The Laffy Taffy moves on. Period.
Dan?
See, Banana Laffy Taffy is good. Watermelon is the clear best Laffy Taffy flavor.
We're not fighting over Laffy Taffy flavor.
But Jolly Ranchers, the hard candies are good. Watermelon is the best flavor of Jolly Rancher. But Jolly Ranchers also have a gummy variant that are really, really good. I love gummy candies. Gummy bears, gummy Lifesavers, fruit snacks, gummy Jolly Ranchers. They're all go-tos for me. Laffy Taffy, if we're getting into, because again, this is a closer matchup for me, Laffy Taffies are a little too big and a little too sticky. So the mouthfeel is not as enjoyable as a Jolly Rancher.
That is why they called me Laffy Taffy in college. A little too big and a little too sticky. So the mouthfeel was challenging.
Did you get shorter as you aged, or?
Yes, it's pretty much withered up and disappeared. It's very dry here in Colorado.
Here's the thing, though, Dan, is that taffy is supposed to be sticky, and
I know. I get it, but we are comparing these candies, right? And I'm talking about the pros and cons, and that stickiness, to me, is a little bit of a con for Laffy Taffy.
Did you talk about the dad jokes?
I think you need to take this in consideration with Laffy Taffy. What is smarter than a talking bird? A spelling bee. You're not going to get that on Jolly Ranchers.
You're
Only
not
it
gonna
comes
get
with
that on
Laffy
Jolly
Taffy.
Ranchers.
Yeah, we talked about the jokes last time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
What has no legs but can do a split?
A
A
banana.
banana.
A banana. Yeah, just like the banana flavored Laffy Taffy.
So here's the thing. Laffy Taffy needs that like tertiary plot of enjoyment, much like Pez needs the dispenser to be enjoyable. Jolly Ranchers, good on their own.
Did you hear about the fire at the circus? It was intense.
So Laffy Taffy gets my vote.
So we have a tie here. Fuck.
Yeah, I'm going with Jolly Ranchers.
Um,
In a closer battle than I thought it would be.
Again, Jolly Ranchers. I don't know if this is going to hurt or help your your thoughts, Scott. But Jolly Ranchers, look, the watermelon one in terms of just regular Jolly Ranchers, it is the best flavor, but it's too tart. Like it is too sour.
Mayonnaise is too spicy.
It is. It's just, I don't know. It's too much. Like unless you've got like a fucking Zima that you're dropping it in.
what
Do
a
they even
throwback.
Yeah, do they even make Zimas anymore?
No, I don't think so. Um, I mean, I do love a green apple Jolly Rancher. It is the best of the flavors.
It is good.
Matt, your sour sensitivity is off the charts.
Dude, I got fucked up on sour when I was a kid.
Yeah,
Like
just too much of it.
Yeah, well, yes, basically. And I put like, I don't remember, I think it was probably a Warhead eventually, put it into my mouth, and immediate my immediate like reaction was to like swirl it around with my tongue to get all the sour off. And then that like fucked up my tongue. Like legitimately it like burned my tongue off. I had to grow one back. And since then, you're absolutely right. My sour sensitivity is really high.
Mm.
But it's also, if there's a Laffy Taffy in front of you, and if there's a Jolly Rancher in front of you, what are you going to enjoy? What are you grabbing?
Yeah,
Because here's the thing. That Laffy Taffy.
That is kind of the question I'm at. Like, I feel like I'm kind of hindered a little bit because if I find myself enjoying a Jolly Rancher, it's probably because I've grabbed it out of a bowl off the desk at the doctor's office. Like, where the fuck else am I going to interact with Jolly Ranchers? Laffy Taffy. If the two are in front of me, there's a potential chance I just pass on eating candy altogether, because I don't really care that strongly for either one. But between the two, I think I'm a Laffy Taffy person. Especially if banana is an option. Green apple is there too. It's a solid friend.
It's a friend. You've got a friend in me. All right. Well,
Dan, how do you feel about being wrong again?
Look, I've grown used to your guys' terrible decisions. I'm not surprised by Matt's, because we have long made fun of Matt's terrible food opinions. I am surprised, though, by yours, Scott. That has been the most disappointing thing in this bracket. But that being said, I don't really care about this particular competition between Jolly Ranchers or Laffy Taffy.
Oh,
I couldn't tell you the last time that I actively bought either of these.
Did you have a traumatic Pez experience back in the day then? Like you're very passionate about that one.
Pez is just a shitty candy, and we are talking about best candy. Pez is like
better than Haribo Gold Bears.
No, not even close. Pez is like candy corn.
No, there's a reason. There's a reason candy corn didn't even make the list.
It sticks around for some reason, and it's the dispensers. That's the only thing it's got going for it. It's
which is
such
a
a
part of the
crutch.
candy. It's a part of the. It's a
You gonna
part
eat
of
the
the Pez
dispenser?
life, dude. That'd be
Ooh,
cool. Edible
edible
Pez dispenser.
dispensers. TM, TM, TM. All right.
I'm
So
sure that's how it works
Yeah.
for multiple reasons.
while we go develop out that idea, we want you to take a moment to find us on all of the social medias. We are on Facebook. We are on TikTok. We are on Snapchat. One of us probably. I'm not. Maybe not.
Dan.
None of us. It's probably Dan. We're on the social medias. I don't know. Some of them. Find us at Bracketology, BRACKETALLOGY. I did have to pause there for a moment to look at it because I lost my place as I was spelling. Thanks to Aaron O'Donnell for the music you hear at the beginning and end of every episode. Thank you for putting up with our episodes. That's everything, right? That's a podcast. I'm really looking forward to it. You can finger my butt to your finger. I'm Scott.
I'm Snickerless Cage, Matt.
And I'm the slightly jolliest rancher.
You're the angriest rancher.
I'm the angriest rancher. Day of default.
Bye bye.